The Prep Football Game of the Week is sponsored by Coca-Cola, Golden State Motors, Crab Radio, X96.5, and Motor City.
The all-new X96.5 plays in today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show.
Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
Check out the savings. Check out the selection. At Golden State Motors, we haven't reached our goal until you drive away with the deal of the millennium.
From Golden State Motors, the #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, trucks, and SUVs with new arrivals daily.
We'll slam the competition.
Corner of Golden State and M, Golden State Motors.
I'm Dick Strickland. Welcome to the city.
Motor City. This is where you want to be.
This is where you want to be.
Motor City Auto Center has one of the largest selections in California, featuring 5 world-class lines: Lexus, GMC truck, Pontiac, Buick, and Saturn. Visit us today in the city. Motor City, in the heart of the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
This is where you want to be.
Good evening, welcome to the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 31, Digital Cable 106. I'm Mark Heffernan along with Brian Adams. Tonight from Centennial High School, the Golden Hawks host the Stockdale Mustangs in a game that will decide first place in the Southwest Yosemite League.
This will be a big game because it is the first place decision maker, but also you have 2 teams that are going to come and play good mistake-free football and hard-nosed football.
Both teams are 2-0 in league. At this point, Stockdale is 5-3, Centennial 4-4 overall.
Well, Centennial's played a tough out-of-conference schedule. Stockdale's lost some close games and then got together when we seen them go against Foothill and really turn their season around.
Well, they both beat South High handily, but Centennial, of course, lost to Foothill, and Stockdale came from behind to defeat the Trojans.
Yes, and tonight we're going to have to see a matchup where, Stockdale's going to try to get some run, but I think their success will be against the air and challenge the defensive backfield of the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, Centennial has a great defense against the run. Who do you give the edge to a quarterback?
I guess as a quarterback for Stockdale, he's played real well this season. We've seen him control the ball game very well with keeping a balanced attack with running and passing.
That would be Patrick Frazier. Well, we're going to give away some Disney passports tonight because we appreciate you watching Prep Football here on Time Warner Cable on the High School Football Game of the Week. We're going to give a lucky viewer 2 free passes to Disneyland. So stay tuned and watch for your chance to win. We will ask a question about halftime tonight. From Centennial High School, Stockdale, and the Golden Hawks on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
I'm Dick Strickland. Welcome to the city.
Motor City. This is where you want to be.
This is where you want to be.
Motor City Auto Center has one of the largest selections in California, featuring 5 world-class lines: Lexus, GMC truck, Pontiac, Buick, and Saturn. Visit us today in the city. Motor City, in the heart of the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
This is where you want to be.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors, where we're sure you'll finish first.
Got a plus good evening from Centennial High School. Welcome to Prep Football on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106. A heavy hit on the opening kickoff. Centennial and Stockdale tonight, both teams 2-0 in the Southwest Assembly League. Stockdale comes in with a record of 5-3, and Centennial 4-4. The Golden Hawks have played some heavy-hitting teams this year. The Stockdale Mustangs with the ball moving right to left. Across your TV dial here in the first quarter. Freeman, the ball carrier, hit and dropped. Freeman with over 1,000 yards this year.
Ball carrier, stopped by Jake Earl.
He's running against the top run defensive team in the area. So a Stockdale offense. Flankers Justin Smith, number 6. Aaron Ochoa, the tight end, number 1. Chad Rosenleib, 6'4", 240, right tackle, number 73. Alex Fox is the right guard, number 65. He's 6 feet, 280. Steve Atherley is the center, number 78. And a play across the 25-yard line. The pass complete from Patrick Frazier to Todd Shelton. And they'll be shy of the first down. Rocky Rodriguez, the left tackle, number 60, is 6 feet, 235. They split in, number 4, Todd Shelton. The fullback, number 9, Adam Abel. Running back, Steve Freeman, number 20. Like I said, over 1,000 yards. And Patrick Frazier, the quarterback, number 7.
Yeah, we're looking at third down and short right here. And Frazier, it's a good distance. You can do some play action, or you can just try to smash mouth and pound it for the first down. But I think, like I said earlier, they're going to have to go in the air and attack the secondary that really has been ravaged against some good teams this year.
And they're going to have a measurement. Festival occasion at Centennial High School tonight. First place at stake in the Southwest Assembly League, and most of the times that these teams have played over the past 5-6 years, first place or the championship has been at stake in this league.
Yeah, and Stockdale really, Centennial really has had the championship on lockdown for pretty much in this league, and this is an opportunity really, I think, where Stockdale has a good chance if they can play some mistake-free football, don't have any turnovers, and like I said, attack them in the air and release that pressure against the run, because we know Centennial is very good against the run. They showed it even against the Drillers in the game that we did earlier this season.
Well, the Golden Hawks have won 18 consecutive games in the Southwest Assembly League. They're trying to make it look 19 as we have third and short for the Mustangs at their own 25. Frazier, Freeman, have to have the first down to about the 40-yard line. Freeman has really come alive this year. Taylor Toll was supposed to be their top ball carrier, and then he got hurt early on, and Freeman received his chance and has made the most of it.
Yeah, we've seen Freeman against Foothill, and he really is an explosive runner in terms of speed and quickness, and he also ran real tough, as we saw in that game against Foothill.
Yeah. In fact, he and Darren Hildebrand, the top runner for Centennial, both were close to 200 yards last week. Pitch out to Freeman. Flag is down, and the Golden Hawks swarm around him at the 40-yard line. The Hawks coming alive. It's real high atop Centennial High School. And the Centennial fans are in front of us here. Holding against the Mustangs. Stockdale and silver, black, and white. Centennial is our traditional red and gold.
You know, and those are the kind of plays that Stockdale cannot afford to have in this game when you put yourself in a 1st and 20 against a very tough defense that's hard to run against. When you run those outside runs off tackle like that, you're really playing into the strength of that Centennial defense.
What about the only team where 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20 does bother is the St. Louis Rams? 1st and 20 for the Mustangs. Shelton in motion. Frazier to throw from the 10-yard line, sets up, throws it out incomplete, and probably a penalty against number 33 of Centennial as he pushed the receiver as the ball's in the air.
That's Wilson right there. You know, and Wilson on that play really had good coverage, but when the player fell down and got back up, he just put his hands on the receiver's back, and they're going to call that every time. When you're in that corner, you really are exposed to that official, so you have to be very careful.
Penalty against Darrell Wilson of the Golden Hawks. On a pass attempt by Stockdale. The Mustangs have it at their own 35-yard line.
You know, and that's one way to pick up your first down is to get the pass interference. 15 yards and a new set of downs.
A lively atmosphere at Golden Hawk Stadium. Mustangs with the ball. Centennial. Good one defense. Freeman bounce to the outside. That comes forward for about 2 or 3 yards. Vance will tackle for the Golden Hawks. On defense, number 9, Henderson, who is 5'9", 202, had a great game even against BHS. Womack, 53, Earl, 64, Fangmeyer, 12, Morales, 45, Seelig, 9, Elizalde, 44, and Kavanaugh also playing time linebacker, 43. Wilson, Bright, Vance, and Wigton at the back along with Porter for the Golden Hawks. Frazier to throw, pressure from the backside, unloads it, complete out of bounds. A short gain to about the 49-yard line.
There's Taylor Ochoa popping up coming out of that backfield, fullback, and getting in the flats. You know, and even though it's a short game, as you see right here, you're rolling the quarterback Frazier to his right, just delivers the ball. You know, even though it's a short gain, it's just like a little run. You get it off real quick. It's a sprint rollout that you see a lot of teams running in the pro and the college level.
Taylor Ochoa, who's missed a lot of action this year for the Mustangs. 3rd and 5. Frazier looking to his left. Pretty heavy rush, and he will go down! Sacked by Seelig of Centennial. And we have 4th down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, right there you see Seelig come through and make the big sack. And this front 7 is an exceptional front 7. You know, along with the Drillers, I think they're the best front 7 defense that we've seen this year. And you see them just pressure through. Good coverage, allows them time to get through and makes the sack.
Ron Fangmeyer, number 12, applied pressure, and he looked pretty good against BHS. Remember that game, he hadn't played much during the first course of the year for Centennial Golden Hawks. He was injured preseason. Ball comes to number 7, 45, and slips down at 47. That was Daniel Chapman, number 7 for the Golden Hawks, and they will set up there. 1st and 10. Travis Garner should be the quarterback for the Golden Hawks. Passing only at a 40% clip this year.
Yeah, but you know, passing is not the strength of this team. This team is going to really try to wear you down with the big lineman, big front, and just continue to pound that ball with their running attack and make you just bow down to them at the end of the game.
Chapman wide right for the Golden Hawks. About 24 to the outside, Hildebrand. And not much there, maybe 2 or 3 yard gain. Talked about their offensive line. Earl, number 64, 6'3", 250. Number 62 is Bakley, 6'1", 256. Dobbs, number 52, is 5'10", 200. Maddox, number 65, the left guard, is 6'1", 250. Fiddlemar, the left tackle, number 77, 6'4", 266. Payne, the split in. Alexander, flanker, number 4. Garner, number 15, a quarterback. Hildebrand, 24. Montgomery, 34. Williams, number 19, has some speed to that backfield. And number 34, Montgomery, the ball carrier, as he kind of dances his way to about the 42-yard line. Mike Montgomery, who also was injured earlier this year for the Golden Hawks, only had a couple of carries against BHS early on in the season.
And, you know, he was going to be a key factor in that running game for the Centennial Golden Hawks this season, so they were happy to have him back, especially closing out, getting ready to work for playoffs.
Well, I think he's a very solid runner, but he's an excellent blocker in the backfield. And a guy like him sorely missed for the Golden Hawks, as is Ochoa for Stockdale. They're both playing tonight. 3rd and 6, 7 minutes to play here in the first quarter. The Golden Hawks with the ball. And a first down, number 34, Moore Montgomery. Mike Montgomery, the fullback, with about a 10-yard run off the left side for the Golden Hawks. Power football.
You know, and that's what this is going to do. That's what they do best, and they're going to come out and do it and just tell you, stop us. You know, as we talked off the air, you and I earlier, I think you're right about you're going to have to find some way to make them get to a pass situation and challenge that 40% and see if it's true.
At 1st and 10 for Centennial. In Mustang territory at the 47-yard line. A couple of receivers wide to the right. Montgomery in motion. Ball going to Hildebrand to the left side. Dives forward to about the 43-yard line.
And right there, you've seen Freeman come up from a safety position very fast into the running game. I think that's what they're going to have to do. They have to involve the safety and make it an 8-9 man front. And like you said earlier, make them pass the ball. Make Garner beat you with his arm.
Jared White was going deep for the Golden Hawks, replaced by Chapman. Kevin Snee, the head coach for Centennial. Mark Cans at Stockdale. Cans in his 10th year at Stockdale. He formerly coached at South High School. Garner, Montgomery slips one tackle to about the 40-yard line. So the Golden Hawks trying to pound the Mustangs up front.
You know, I said you have to do what got you to the big dance. You know, right here you're playing for first place. I don't think you go and change up what you've done all season long. You know, even though your records indicate a great season, you did have to play against some tough teams, and you come in and you do what you want to do. You're winning your league. You're trying to get yourself prepared for playoffs, and today's game is very important for them.
I was remembering that loss against Foothill. Travis Garner did not play a quarterback, and Centennial threw the ball 39 times, which is not characteristic of them. 3rd and 4 for the Golden Hawks. Second man through. Hildebrand runs hard, but all gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a half yard. Great defense by the Mustangs. It'll be 4th down.
You know, and those are the distances they want to have the Golden Hawks in. It's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Because they're going to still try to run on 3rd and 5, 30, you know, and try to pound and pick the first line like they did on that first set of downs.
Wide in punt formation for Centennial. From midfield, kicks it high and away from the return people. Stockton needs to get away from the ball. A very short punt. The Mustangs will have the ball at their own 27-yard line. What's that, about a 10 or 12-yard punt?
It didn't go far, but what I really liked was the return man from Stockdale came up and waved people off, which we haven't seen a lot of teams do. And that's good fundamental football in your special teams. Because he's the only one that can really see the ball. Everybody else is blocking. You must get everybody out the way. Because we have seen some balls hit some people, take some funny bounces. And that kind of turnover would be crucial in a game like this.
Coming into the game, Brian, Stockdale had over 2,100 yards of offense, 186 points. Frazier to throw. Over the middle. It's complete. First down for the Mustangs. Number 8 with a nice reception for Stockdale. Dillingham, who looked good against Foothill the last game time we saw Stockdale.
And here it is, just a straight 5-step drop. Releases on the post pattern. Good pass and catch right there. And I think that's where the soft area is against this team, is in the air.
Evan Dillingham, number 8. With a reception for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. There's Freeman to the outside. Slice inside, great run. Inside, Centennial territory, the 48-yard line. A little right-left fake that time.
Yeah, and he's a very nifty runner with his ability to make people miss. And that's what you want to get. You want to let him use his speed if you can and get him outside, which is very tough against his defense. You see one-on-one, he's a difficult player to tackle.
We were very impressed with Freeman against Foothill. And here's where they come alive. Dillingham, and number 6 for Stockdale is Justin Smith. Left side, Frazier to Freeman. Head in the backfield and drop. An excellent penetration by the Golden Hawks defense. A guy who's always back there is number 9 Henderson for Centennial. Hank Fangmeyer is on the tackle, number 12 for the Golden Hawks.
Like I said, we've done almost every team in the area. And the one thing you have to say about the Centennial Golden Hawk front 7 is they're aggressive, they play fundamental football, and they get pressure in the gaps, which a lot of teams don't realize disrupts a lot of your running game.
They're very disciplined in the front 7. Freeman again dives forward close to the first down inside the Golden Hawks 45-yard line. Freeman does a great job of finding the seams, and they're calling it a first down from the Mustangs.
And the other thing that we've seen with Freeman is we've also seen with Mackey and Stansel, and our good backs, and they really hit that hole hard right there. He slips through, finds the hole, has a nose for that first down, and that's just the instincts that good backs have. They just have a nose where that first down is, and they seem to fall right by it.
Well, he's another junior on Mark Hansen's team. First down for the Golden Hawks. Mustangs. Freeman hit hard in the backfield by a Golden Hawk. Number 20, that is Porter saying hello.
And that's what Porter's job is. He comes and he enforces the run, and he turns it in, and right there he just smacked Freeman. You know, it's a loss of a yard. But, you know, with the way he's ran the ball, you're really something that play actions we'll see right here.
Seeley's, number 9.
Seeley's is making the adjustments. He's the motion man. Pitch comes out to Freeman right here. And there's Porter coming off his corner position and really putting a nice hit on Freeman.
Well, I want it to be a first down for the Golden Hawks. hoping that Freeman would fumble. Frazier looking to the right, and a pass complete. Not much of a gain. It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs.
Now one thing I like to see Stockdale do from an offensive standpoint is to go into receiver side, but to split their receivers one on each end, it really challenged the quarterbacks because the quarterbacks for Centennial have had some problems against passing games as Foothill changed up their game plan and passed against them, and we see the Drillers, that's how they really opened the game up, was in the air.
The pass was completed to Justin Smith of Mustangs, 3rd and 10. Frazier to throw. Lost inning, complete. He was under duress, double coverage, and it'll be 4th down for the Mustangs. Aaron Ochoa, the intended receiver, the tight end for Stockdale. And Frazier had to unload it. 1:21 to play in the first quarter, no score between the Mustangs and the Golden Hawks. Well, Centennial offensively this year has gained about 2,300 yards, 1,500 on the ground, about 770 through the air. Defensively, they had allowed about 2,171. Fumble down inside the 10-yard line on the punt. But look at the Golden Hawks. They had only allowed 589 on the ground, but forced through the air 1,582.
Yeah, and again, when you're doing your film work and you're studying for a team, that's what you can see. We'll see right here, just a mishandled punt. Got a little bit beneath his eyes, caught it kind of low, but he was lucky enough that the ball bounced to where he could grab it. He did a good job of hustling and saving it, because that would have been a big-time turnover right there.
And almost a big-time mistake by Daniel Chapman, number 7 for the Golden Hawks. 3rd inside their own 10-yard line. The Mustang defense has to put theirs back here late in the first quarter. Hildebrand tripped up in the backfield as he climbs across the 10-yard line. He thought he had a chance for more.
And that was Ochoa right there off the end, and did a good job of just making that one-arm tackle that you see like the freak from the Titans do a lot.
That's right.
Hildebrand tripped up by Ochoa.
Taylor Ochoa. There's Aaron, there's Taylor Ochoa. It is 2nd down and 9 for the Golden Hawks. Chapman in motion. Travis Garner, the quarterback. Montgomery, the ball carrier, and does not get across the 11-yard line. 16:39 for Stockdale. That'll be Mustang defense. Taylor Ochoa.
Yeah, right there you
and
see
also
him.
Zach Dransoff.
Linebacker and the secondary support come up, make the tackle, and put it in the 3rd and 8 situation. That's not a down really in distance that favors the Golden Hawks.
They're good, number 99, Danny Pruitt, number 2, and Rocky Rodriguez, number 60, the down lineman. No score after 1 between Centennial and Stockdale on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
The all-new X96.5 plays in today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show. Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
You'll have to excuse the Johnsons. They got a great deal on a car at Golden State Motors and can't seem to contain their excitement. They were treated to great customer care from low-pressure salespeople, making it much easier to take advantage of Golden State Motors' everyday low prices. For a deal so good you'll want to dance, come to Golden State Motors. We're driven to see you drive home happy.
We're going to give away a couple of free passports to Disneyland at about halftime, so stay tuned for your chance to win. We have a question for you. To the outside, Hildebrand across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. He will be shy of the first down. 4th down, punting time for the Golden Hawks. And Mustangs have a chance to get excellent field position.
Yeah, and I think that's field position is a key word in this game right here. Without any turnovers and two teams that are pretty balanced against each other, you have to play a game of field position. And who can dominate that field position, as we've seen good teams doing, even in the pro and college level, can influence a game.
Fourth down for the Golden Hawks. Nice high punt. Cross midfield. And Mustangs will have the ball thrown 49-yard line, so they have a chance to do something here. As we begin the second quarter, no score between the Mustangs and the Golden Hawks from Centennial High School. Is this about the way you would figure it to be to start the game tonight?
Well, I thought we would see both teams try to fill each other out and see who's going to budge first. Looks like you having in a heavyweight title fight. You know, they come out just seeing who's going to do what. And right now, Stockdale has really good field position. If they can take advantage of it, could be a big key in this first half.
Todd Shelton on the return for the Mustangs, number 4. Frazier to Freeman. There's a spin move that dragged down at the line of scrimmage. Boy, the Golden Hawks are tough to run against.
Yeah, it is.
Earl there with the tackle.
And if you're going to try to really run against this team, you really have to have a dominant front line and to give your back some room to run, because they are just very good at coming up and making stops, getting that pressure, and getting some tackles behind the line of scrimmage and putting you in bad down distances.
They will call it 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. Frazier to throw. The pass complete to Shelton on the far side. Out of bounds, a gain of about 7 yards. That'll be 3rd and 4, long for the Mustangs. Cody Vance will tackle for the Golden Hawks. Now, Shelton was injured in that game that we did against Foothill, but he has been their top receiver this year.
And that's just a one-step, 1 yard route by the receiver. He catches it, and he picks up 7 yards. I mean, and it's a simple passing catch. It's hard to intercept, and nice play.
Frazier rolling to his right. Looking downfield, fires it. Incomplete, but probably a foul against Centennial once again, as Dillingham was hit a little bit too early.
And that's Wilson.
The ball arrived.
Wilson again, you know, as a defensive back, you don't want your name called on 2 pass interference plays, but that's what it is. And they just kind of ran through him, and it was close to time to rack, but hit him a little early. And again, when you're in that defensive backfield out there, it's an easy call to see for the officials, not a hard call for him to miss. Right here you see he's rolling right, he's going to pull up, has his target. And we couldn't see it there.
But it was quite obvious.
Yeah, from the view we had earlier, from just watching it, you could see the contact before the ball got there.
So the Golden Hawks aiding the Mustangs on a couple of series. But Stockdale's not taking advantage of it yet. Dillingham wide right. Frazier. Handoff up the middle, gains about 1 or 2 yards. Taylor Choa. Sealish will tackle for the Golden Hawks. Stockdale, of course, throwing a little bit more than Centennial tonight, but both teams rely on the ground game.
Well, they do, but I really think because of the weakness in the Centennial secondary, I think that's the spot that you attack. And I think if you're going to have success against them, that's where it's going to be, as the statistics have shown.
Going deep for Shelton, right corner of the end zone. He's got it! Great catch, touchdown, Mustangs! Tremendous throw by Frazier. Great catch by Todd Shelton. Wow.
Yeah, Todd Shelton made a great catch, but again, like you said, Frazier made a great throw. I've talked all year long about that deep ball. It has to be about 40 yards downfield, and it's to the outside. It's not inside where the defensive back can play. And right on cue, they attack the weakness, and that's in the air, and you see it's produced. And I think if Stockdale wants to win this game, they have to keep attacking that.
Well, they had Dillingham and Shell lined up to the right side. Dillingham was a short man. Looked like Frazier faked to him. Shell went deep down the right sidelines, but tremendous throw and a great catch, beat double coverage. The PAT
by Jason Ashurst is good.
It's up and it's good by number 49, Jason Ashurst. For the Mustangs, Stockdale 7, Centennial nothing, 9:49 to play in the second quarter.
And here's right here, you see the pump fake like you said. Now right now he stops and he throws to a spot. He's not really throwing to the man, he's throwing to a spot downfield, and you let your receiver go make the play, because you see Wilson's right there for coverage, and if it's thrown at the man, it's an interception. But you
that's a beautiful throw.
You throw it to a spot,
yeah.
And that's what they teach you when you go to college and you go to the next level. When you work on your routes and your passing game, they teach you to throw to a spot. He's going to throw it 44 yards down the field, and it's your job as a receiver to get the ball on target, but he just throws to an area. He doesn't throw at you.
You know, I was on the same baseball team for 6 years with Todd Shelton's dad. And his grandfather was our coach all those years at JVA. Amazing.
Now, is he a baseball player too?
Stockdale.
I know he has his great concentration, and really that's just a credit to his hand-eye coordination. That's really a tough ball when you jump up and leave your feet and to concentrate like that. One of the best catches we've seen this year on our game of the week.
Well, the Mustangs strike first, 7-0. Stockdale over Centennial. And they do it via the airwaves. That kick coming to the Golden Hawks.
Williams on the return.
Williams on a return. Across the 20-yard line. Has a couple of blocks moving right to left. 25, 30. Breaking arm tackles. Across the 40-yard line. First and 10 for the Golden Hawks.
Kelly Williams on the return.
Kelly Williams with a great return by Centennial. And here they come.
Yeah, there's Williams right there, and we liked him in the game we saw against East. He's the one back that they have that can make people miss and is exciting. And I think he's a guy that I like to see him get the ball more. I know he has some guys that are more experienced in front of him, but you see right there in that return, he makes things happen. Right here, these are just instincts. He makes one guy miss there. Comes in, looking upfield, puts the brakes on, cuts upfield, makes 3 guys miss there, and then just gives the Golden Hawks great field position.
Hard to throw, has a man out there, incomplete. Whoa! Number 3, Josh Payne was open. The pass just was overthrown by Travis Garner.
That's it for Josh Payne.
You know, and there's the difference right there of trying to throw the ball at a man and throw into a spot and let the man get there. If the ball's to a spot, you're not worried about really how fast your guy's going right there. He's trying to adjust to the speed of the receiver and tries to hit him on the run, and it's a tough throw when it's like that, and that's when you see a lot of the low percentage pass completions.
But a second and 10 for Centennial, throwing 40-yard line. Second man through, that is Williams. Breaks a tackle, that's about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd and 4, maybe 3rd and 5 for the Golden Hawks. So Williams in the backfield now for Centennial. They start off with Montgomery and also with Hildebrand.
Yes, and take nothing away from Montgomery, who was a tough running back, and like you said, close to 200 yards last week. Williams is just a guy who really has more of a natural running ability in terms of making people miss and having that instinct of running.
And we'll see this number 9 tight end line up on the left side for Centennial. 3rd down and 5. Garner, play action, rolling to his right, flips it, complete. And it'll be first down to Montgomery, breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. Inside Mustang territory, the 35-yard line. And about 12 yards after the catch.
You know, and there's an illustration of a short pass play that goes a long way. All you do is right here, you roll right, you're sprinting right. You know you have a guy in the flats, you hit to him, you let him pick your first down up. He runs through a tackle right there, and then he hits the sideline and picks up more yards and keeps the chains moving, 1st and 10.
Well, he has a lot of strength. He's 5'9", 220 pounds, and huge legs. And he's a load to bring down the defensive backfield. We're at the Mustang 34-yard line. Williams breaks to the outside. And a great tackle. Taylor Ochoa. Excellent tackle by Ochoa.
It was, especially on a back like Williams in the open field. I mean, you can just kind of feel it when he gets the ball, like he's going to make something happen. The way he kind of chops it up and kind of puts the paws on you and tries to set you up for a big run.
Remember we saw Stockdale in the playoffs last year and also against Centennial, and a great game Ochoa had. In fact, both games, offense and defense.
He just plays good hard-nosed football, and he's a kind of player that every coach would want on his team.
Williams in motion. Fumble! Well, I think Centennial falls on it. The ball's intended for Montgomery, I believe. Well, they kind of botched the handoff. But fortunately for the Golden Hawks, they fell on it.
Yeah, right here you see the ball pop out as the other Ochoa makes the hit right there.
Aaron Ochoa, number 1, he did make the hit.
And once again, the ball's on the ground for the Golden Hawks, but fortune was on their side. The ball bounced near one of their players, and they were able to recover it.
Well, Aaron Ochoa was right there to make the hit as Montgomery was receiving the ball from the quarterback. 3rd down and 8 for the Golden Hawks. Ryan Alexander wide right for Centennial. Williams in motion. Garner Straight drop back. Sets up over the middle. Complete to Alexander. First down for the Golden Hawks. Inside the 10. Great throw.
And that's just a little skinny post right there. You take your 5 steps, you release it, and it hits the man right on stride. Good timing route. See the 5-step drop as he plants and pushes it out there, and right there on the money. You know, and he's showing that he wants to come out here and play tonight and make some passes.
I like the fact he looked to his left for a moment, but delivered that pass over the middle to Alexander, who was in motion. Will actually line up wide right. It is first and goal for Centennial. Chapman in motion. Garner, the count. Ball given to Williams. Goes to the outside. Finally driven down the 6-yard line. A couple of Mustangs in hot pursuit. Number 3, Dan Hudson. And number 39 for the Mustangs, Zach Dransoff.
And you see right there, Williams is also showing he has a little power to his running game as well. It's just not a strictly finesse game. Maybe people miss. He'll bounce it right here. Does a good job of reading the fullback's block. There's a good straight arm. And right now just powers through a couple of runners, tacklers, I'm sorry, and picks up some positive yards in his second and goal from the 6.
Well, he is 5'10", 190 pounds. Second down and goal for the Golden Hawks. Garner to Williams. Opening to the right side, spins his way to about the 3-yard line. It'll be third and goal for Centennial.
Once again.
5:25 to play in the first half, 7-0 Stockdale.
You know, and again, Williams has been the difference. He was the one that turned around against the East Tide game. You see he comes in the game. He's like Mr. Sparkler, Mr. Electricity, and he just pumps the game up for the Golden Hawks.
They had a great kickoff return for Centennial. In fact, they took it to the 40-yard line. They had a short toss to Montgomery, who ran about another 13 yards, then the pass over the middle to Alexander. So Golden Hawks special teams, they mixed up the run and the pass. Third and goal. Inside handoff. Doesn't go too far. It'll be fourth and goal for the Golden Hawks. Let's see where they line it up.
Like a good 2 or 3 yards.
It has to be at the 2-yard line. It says, yeah, fourth and goal from the 2. And timeout Golden Hawks.
Yeah, and I like this timeout right here because you don't rush your decision. Figure out what you're going to do. Come up with a good play that you think can work. If you're going to go for it. If not, put the 3 on the board. You know, I know usually we talk about we say put the 3 on the board, but this is a chance. You have a real solid defense. Sometimes you might gamble a little more than another team will. From 2 yards out, you figure you have a few plays you think you're going to be successful. And you've had a good job. You've been able to run on this series. You know, 99 yards is a long way for a team to go if you don't get the touchdown.
Do you think the Golden Hawks will try to power it in or do play action?
I think they're going to power it in if they're going to run the ball. And, you know, and this is one of those situations. You just come to your line, you say, hey, fellas, you know, we work all week long, and we've been here 8 weeks this year. Pound it. Do your job.
Okay, fourth and goal for the Golden Hawks at the Mustang 2-yard line. 7-0 Stockdale. 4:36 to play in a very fast-moving first half. Here on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 31, Digital Cable 106, and the Mark and Brian Show, football style that is. We're going to give you a chance, the viewer, to win a couple passports to Disneyland right at the half. Garner, a quarterback. Montgomery in motion. Williams, left side. Is it a touchdown? Then he fumbled to the end zone.
And the sideline judge calls a touchdown. And remember, the nose of the ball has to break the plane. So once that happens, even if it gets hit and comes out, it's already a touchdown.
So I'm saying Williams was over the plane. The football was over the plane of the goal.
And you see right there, that's close and it's hard to see from our angle, but the referee's on the sideline, his judgment call, he calls a touchdown. But you can see the push that the front line got right there, where he didn't get hit till approximately about the goal line area.
Got hit by number 10, Taylor Chaw. They fumble a snap and did not get the PAT. The snap to Daniel Chapman. And Centennial could not get a kick off.
You know, and at one point on a missed PAT could be crucial in a close game like this.
Yeah. I'm sure they haven't had too many this year like that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a fake.
No, and I think that's a great call by coach. Need to go for it like that and just put it on your lineman to power the ball in. Now, if it would have been on the 5 or 6 yard line, it would have been a whole different situation because now you got a lot of territory to try to get into. But that close to the goal line with your defense, I think you got to go for it.
Well, the Golden Hawks answered back after that pass touchdown from Frazier to Shelton, as Williams had a long kickoff return. Then he had a pass to Montgomery, who broke a couple of tackles, gained another 12 yards into Stockdale territory. The pass over to Alexander, then it was Golden Hawk football from there on, bruising football. They finally score.
And the only mishap on that series was the PAT.
And the guy who came alive for Centennial that drive was Kelly Williams.
Yeah, and again, he's like their Energizer Bunny. He's their spark plug. When he comes in, he makes things happen.
Low-scoring game. The Mustangs take a kickoff to about the 30-yard line. Very short kickoff. 7-6 ball game. 4:21 to play in the second quarter.
It's Justin Smith on the return.
Number 75 wants to play someday for the Golden Hawks.
You know, and that's how it starts. You do your ball boy duties, and next thing you know, you're under the big lights.
Did you do that for BHS?
No, I didn't do it. I used to be a ball boy for the Roadrunners basketball team in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay. Well, a great ball game so far from Golden Hawk Stadium. Very fast moving, very festive, as usual here at Centennial. Packed house. And we have a lot of people on the end zone bleachers. The biggest crowd I've ever seen here was a game they played against BHS a couple of years ago in the rain. Well, McGill and those guys were playing.
Yeah, and that was a good game that night, too.
Looking in the paper today, I can't believe how many players from the BHS class of 99-98 are playing college football. I think about 10. A lot of them at Fresno State.
Yeah, I was looking at two. It's like almost 7 of them were at Fresno State, but you know, and that's a good pipeline for these young men to earn a scholarship and go to.
Rodney Wright was a couple of years before them, but Bryce McGill had a tremendous game last week, playing safety, tackles, interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like a copy of tonight's game, we're going to have a local program produced here on Time Warner Cable. Give us a call at 322-1941, 322-1941. Call during regular business hours. The Mustangs 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. As we have Dillingham and Smith wide right. Frazier looking that direction. Dillingham to the 30. Goes to the outside. Driven out of bounds at the 33. Those were quick whistles. He must have put his knee down.
Yeah, they blew it real quick, so. And they're moving it back like he did put his knee down.
Well, they lost yards.
We couldn't really see it right there on our replay.
One guy we haven't heard from yet for Stockdale is Brian Wengel, who had 19 receptions coming into the game. He played very well against Foothill. Sheldon had 27 receptions coming in, and Nick Sealedge had 10 for the Golden Hawks. Frazier close to 1,000 yards passing this year, and Garner about 518 for Centennial. Running's been able to gain Freeman to about the 30-yard line. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. 3:35 to play, first half. It'll be third down, 3rd and 9 for Stockdale. Well, the Golden Hawks hoping to get the ball back before the conclusion of the second quarter.
You know, and they would like to, and their defense again, you know, trying to run on them is going to be a very tough task to ask of your team. But here's where you got to be careful.
Frazier steps up, throws it, complete to Shelton. First down for the Mustangs. His primary target, Todd Shelton, running a deep out pattern. First down for Stockdale across the 40-yard line.
And right there you have Williams on the coverage, who was right there, but right here's just another good pass, beats good coverage, and first down.
Frazier did a good job getting away from the pass rush, biding some time, as they say. 2:45 to play in the first half. A couple of receivers wide right for the Mustangs. Frazier looking that direction. And a pass complete. The Smith hit, immediately driven back.
That's Justin Smith. Smith brought down by Billy
Bright, Billy Bright. So a strong hit for the Golden Hawks.
You know, and that's the second time we've seen that play run in this series, and it's resulted in negative yards both times. You know, and that's
telegraphed.
And that's a play you just can't keep going to. You got to kind of mix it up in, and you can't just start make that be your main offensive passing weapon. And what you can do now is you have them set up for that is you can do what they call a slip screen with the receiver, where he comes back behind the lineman. They all come. You let the pressure go with the front lineman, and then you let the receiver slip in, which Miami made popular, and a lot of teams run that now too.
2nd and 15 for Stockdale. Bellingham in motion.
Taylor
Ochoa powers this wide, losing the ball. I think the Golden Hawks have it at the Mustangs 42-yard line. Tony Morales on the recovery.
And you know, and right there, this defense goes, they hit and they tackle well against the run. You see Ochoa, he has the ball in left arm, kind of loose. You can see the air right there. And can't see who number
it was
out, but
no, number 28.
Really bright.
It was Bright.
And he knocks it out, and they pick up the ball, and turnovers are something you can't afford in this game. And you get a good field position with about 1 minute 49 seconds left for the Golden Hawks.
Well, Bright made a big hit, and the hit right there, the strip for the Golden Hawks. Ochoa handling the ball a little bit too loosely in this situation.
Yeah, and on that replay, you can see when you can see air between the runner and the ball, he's not holding the ball properly. You should see no air. The good runners, you don't see air when they run. The Eddie Georges, the Marshall Falks, keep that ball real tight. That's why Marshall Falk really does not put the ball on the ground very often.
Hey, George has those big biceps. 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks, and a flag is thrown. 1:49 to play here in the first half. At 7-6 in favor of the Mustangs over the Golden Hawks. A legal procedure against Centennial.
You know, and right there you get a big turnover. You know, you don't really
Kevin
have.
Snead telling the cheerleaders to turn off the music. Turn off the music.
Well, you don't want the music playing when your team's on offense, because you want them to be able to hear the snap count. Now that's one thing that you don't want. But you like to see the spirit that the young ladies are putting out in the crowd.
1st and 15 for Centennial. Williams in motion. Garner rolling to his right. Looking downfield for Williams. Pass too high and complete. He had to be Kobe Bryant to catch that pass.
Yeah, that was a high, hard one right there. Or Derek Jeter if you want to jump up and snatch it.
Yeah.
But right there, when you have a man that wide open, you want to get to him quick. He was still rolling out, trying to get all the way on his rollout, but when you're that quarterback, you start rolling. As soon as you see that guy open like that, especially when you got to run like Williams, let it go. You know, John Elway was very good at that. Once he saw the guy open like that, it was gone. You don't have to keep running. You don't have to roll all the way out to make the pass. As soon as you see it open, get rid of it.
2nd and 15 for the Golden Hawks. And Mustang territory, the 46 play action. Screen left to Sealeach. Midfield 50, 45. Great block. Downfield 40. And dives forward to the 35-yard line. Looks like he's injured. Sealeach, after he landed on the turf. We'll see what happened.
Right here, they do a good job setting the play. It looks right. Comes back to the screen. It's a screen the whole time. He has blockers in front of him. And right here, Big Jesse's going to just run down the sideline. And you can tell he's looking to put some punishment on somebody. Takes an undercut and just kind of hits that shoulder a little funny. But he's a big, tough kid, and I'm sure we'll see him back in the game.
Walking around his own on the Centennial sideline. 3rd and short for the Golden Hawks. Williams to the outside. Hit. Has a first down. Stays in bounds. Big back, 190 pounds.
Yeah, and not only is he strong, he's quick and has great balance. And you see right there, he really is the difference maker in this offense. As we've seen, he's like instant life for him.
1st and 10 for Centennial. 1:19 to play in the first half. 7-6 Stockdale. Garner. That's Chapman to the right side. Flips it high towards the end zone. It is incomplete. No flags.
Pass intended for Chapman, call is incomplete.
Right there, that's just great coverage by the corner.
That'd be Brian Easter.
Yeah, Easter really did a good job of defending that play. Right here, 5-step drop, ball's released. And you see that ball's thrown more out towards the sideline where we saw the other ball thrown by Frazier more downfield in play.
Ben Amy, number 34, and Easter, number 16, of corners for Stockdale. Free safety, number 3, Danny Hudson. Strong safety, number 20, Steve Freeman. 2nd and 10. Garner looking to the right. Has a man open. It's cut. That's Alexander.
Pass complete to
And out of bounds. Inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15.
Right there, that was a great wheel route, wide open. And that time, you see how he got rid of the ball very early. He saw the man open real early, got the ball to him. Doesn't hold it for a long time. Boom, ball's gone.
Got a penalty against the Golden Hawks.
And they're going to bring that back after a very nice play. And those are two pass plays. We've seen the screen to Justy, and now that little quick wheel route that was set up very nice and good play calls, but brought back by penalties. And it's been penalties that have hurt Centennial tonight.
Yes,
2 pass interference penalties, and now, a holding penalty that brings it back.
And Nick Hopper, Taylor Ochoa, Ryan Decker, Zach Fransoff, the linebackers for Stockdale. Down lineman Derek Gooden, Danny Pruitt, Walter Rodriguez. So for the Golden Hawks, 2nd and 15. Less than a minute to play here in the 2nd quarter. Garner to throw, pretty good protection. Throws a high to the right side, incomplete, had Chapman open. He got away from Freeman with a pass too far, overthrown. That's a timing pattern between quarterback and the wide receiver.
Again, that's a play where that ball throws to a spot, and I don't know where their spot is or if they even practice it that way. I know at the next level, that's how they practice it. When you go to the major college, they practice you throwing that wheel route to a spot. You don't throw to the man like I was saying earlier. And it's your job as a receiver to get there. But again, we don't know how they practice it, what they're telling, what they're teaching at this level. But I like the opening up of the offense by Coach Sneed and his staff. And I think that's going to be a difference when they go into the playoffs, to be able to be versatile like that, to have some kind of air attack, to at least put some pressure, give somebody something to think about.
Well, Kevin Sneed as a quarterback like to air it out. He was a passer at West High and BC and beyond. He liked to throw the football. When he was a player.
He was a player, but when we played against him in the late 80s, when he was at West High, when he had the good powerhouse West High team, they were pretty much a running attack team. They were with that veer, and that's what they kind of stuck with. And as an ex-quarterback, he might like the pass, but as a coach, he looks more at a running game, and it might be dictated too by what he feels his capabilities are on his team. So it's very hard to say why one coach does one thing and another coach does another.
Well, they've always been able to develop big offensive and defensive linemen here at Centennial and strong running backs, so they kind of incorporate the offense around the talent they have.
Well, I think it's a credit to him because he had a strong weightlifting program and big, strong guys at West High, and he just brought his philosophy to him and his winning ways to this program here.
Garner steps up to throw, but he's sacked from behind. Looking deep for Alexander. And the Mustangs came from the backside. 4th down for the Golden Hawks. Timeout, 41 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. And we're going to give away a couple of free passports to Disneyland at halftime of tonight's game.
So there's the sack right there.
And unfortunately, you and I are not eligible.
Well, that's okay.
Why not? I wouldn't mind going there during the holidays.
Well, I wouldn't trade it for sitting up on the top of this
all right,
stand up here and getting to watch some good high school football players.
Right. This has been a very competitive football game.
It really has been a good game, and this is what has been advertised. And like I said, both coaches do a great job with their program and getting their players to believe in their philosophy and playing good, tough, hard-nosed football.
Well, Stockdale has been able to play with Centennial in years past, and they haven't defeated them, at least for a while. Now they have a great chance tonight. The Golden Hawks have won 18 consecutive games in the Southwestern Central League. They flood the right side with 3 receivers, the Golden Hawks, at 4th down, 4th and 15. Garner and company. Travis, drop back, screen to Montgomery. This is attacked by Freeman. 25, driven down. That'll be Stockton Mustang ball.
Down by Aaron Ochoa.
Aaron Ochoa, but Ben aiming in on the tackle. And the Mustangs will run it out.
You know, and there's Nick Seelig. We talked about him earlier, alluded to him about getting catches. We saw him, he had 2 or 3 TDs in the first game we saw. But you can see when he catches the ball, he's another player that has some ability to make some things happen.
Well, we should have a 7-6 game at halftime here from Golden Hawk Stadium in favor of Stockdale over Centennial as Patrick Frazier takes a knee. The Mustangs and the Golden Hawks. After 2 quarters, a 1-point lead for Stockdale. Centennial botched an extra point attempt on the clock running down here.
You know, they really botched a good opportunity with those penalties after that big gain on the receiver. So
at the half, Stockdale 7, Centennial 6. You're watching the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
Check out the savings. Check out the selection. At Golden State Motors, we haven't reached our goal until you drive away with the deal of the millennium.
From Golden State Motors, the #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, trucks, and SUVs with new arrivals daily.
We'll slam the competition.
Corner of Golden State and M, Golden State Motors.
The all-new X96.5, blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's New Morning Show. Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
Okay, and it's time to give away 2 free passports to Disneyland. Get ready to call this number. That is 634-2294, 634-2294. If you're the first caller, tell us what Disney character plays Santa during the holidays at Disneyland. What Disney character plays Santa during the holidays at Disneyland? You will win 2 free passports to Disneyland. That is the first caller at 634-2294. The winner will be announced during halftime of next week's Shafter-Wasco game. We'll be giving out 2 more free passports to Disneyland. Once again, the first winner, the first caller, what Disney character plays Santa during the holidays at Disneyland? Call us at 634-2294. At halftime, Stockdale 7, Centennial 6 on the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31, Digital Cable 106.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles. The largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors where we're sure you'll finish first.
All-new X96.5, blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's New Morning Show. Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
Had a score at halftime from Centennial High School. Stockdale 7, Centennial 6. A very good ball game, Brian. Defense has dominated. Stockdale scored first on a pass from Patrick Frazier to Todd Shelton.
Yeah, that first pass right there from Frazier to Todd Shelton was just a beautiful execution between the receiver and the defensive back, as we're going to see on the screen right here. He pump fakes to the out, throws it up to the spot, and Shelton just makes a great grab as he leaves his feet to make the reception.
What a beautiful throw by Patrick Frazier. Keller Williams came back with a great kickoff return for Centennial. He was kind of a key man in their drives. He made things happen, but also a couple of pass completions by Travis Garner kind of set up the score by Williams.
Yeah, Gardner hits the post pattern right there, and that puts the ball in the side of the 10-yard line, and then Williams in the offset line did it from there and put it in the end zone.
As we see the Centennial marching band, here's the touchdown for the Golden Hawks.
And right here, you're going to see the offset line just fire off the ball. And when that offset line fires off the ball like that, they're going to have room for the running back, and it's his job to get in. If he doesn't get on that, that's the running back. That's Williams' fault right there.
They got hit by Ochoa as he crossed the plane of the end zone for the touchdown. PAT not successful. And we have a 7-6 ball game in favor of the Mustangs. Who's in better shape right now?
I think right now, both teams are in good shape. If you're the Centennial Golden Hawks, you like to be 7-7, but you're not. But you're right there in the ball game. You know you have a solid defense. And if you're the Stockdale Mustangs, anytime you have a 1-point lead or a 4-point lead or a 10-point lead, you're in the lead, and you have to come out and cannot be conservative and attack this defense. And I think, again, success will be through the air.
Well, as you know, the Golden Hawks are going for their 19th consecutive victory in the Southwest Yosemite League. And they're already calling it 19-0.
Well,
These two teams have played some highly contested volleyball matches over the years, especially this season.
Yeah, and they just had a big one.
That's right.
This past week, and going into the playoffs, it'll be interesting which team can win it.
We have a heated rivalry in every sport. We call it baseball, softball, soccer, you name it. A couple of guys want to get out there on the field. Put the pads on. One thing we know about the Golden Hawks, they are a strong second-half team and usually come alive in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and again, what their running game, what they do in this typical Coach Snead team is they use their size and they wear you down. So when it comes to the fourth quarter, if your defensive line is a little bit tired and winded, they just pound you and pound you. That's usually when they break the game open on you.
Well, I think the Mustangs have to run the ball more effectively in the second half to defeat Centennial. I know it's very difficult. The Golden Hawks have the top run defense in the area. Stockdale has been doing it primarily through the air and thanks to a couple of penalties against Centennial. So they have to find a way to get Freeman some open space.
Well, the problem you're going to face is there is no open space to run when you have a front seven that tough, and you had the safety that close line to make plays. Again, this is typical that you see in college and pro game when you have good defenses. You have to find a way to put the ball in the air and attack the air to open up some running space. Because if you keep attacking the air enough, those linebackers will start dropping back and they'll give you some time, some room to run.
Okay, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Golden Hawks as we begin the third quarter here from Golden Hawks Stadium. The defense definitely dominated in the first two quarters this evening. We'll see what happens with Travis Garner coming up to a ball for Centennial. Montgomery in motion. Hillebrand off the left side. Nice run across the 25-yard line. Darren Hillebrand. He didn't carry the ball much in the first half, but he has been their top rusher this year.
Yeah, as Williams came in and did a good job of expelling him. What we saw this against East High. Williams came in, energized it, and it kind of looked like he got Hildebrandt. You know, hey, Williams made some plays. I need to make some plays too, and he kick-started just like this in the East High game.
I think the running backs coming fresh.
Yeah, and that's the luxury that Coach Lee has. You have two really strong, durable backs with different styles of running that can cause problems for another team's defense.
And we have a 220-pound fullback who can run a Montgomery. Middle round again, off the block of Montgomery. First down, Moore. He may go 40, midfield 50. It's going to be a race. Amy trying to catch him to the 20, 10. Touchdown, Centennial! Wow.
And right there, we just talked about we saw him doing against East High, and there it is right there. Hildebrandt breaks loose for the long TD run.
Had a nice block by Montgomery as he ran left. Broke to the open. It was a race, and nobody could catch him. So Hildebrand had a couple of long runs, I believe last week, had about 109 yards rushing. And he comes alive here early in the third.
Well, again, you sit on that sideline, you're seeing Williams get off. It doesn't anything but inspire you and pump you up. And you see he ran even the first one, he ran with a lot of desire. And right there, hit the hole hard. He's a good block by Montgomery. And he just did the rest and he was off to the races.
70 yards for him. It is 12-7 Golden Hawks. As they come up with a big play, a long run. Centennial going for two. Garner rolling to his right, looks toward the end zone. It is complete. 2 points for the Golden Hawks.
That's a lead to Nick Seelig.
Nick Seelig, as Centennial comes out roaring.
And right there, they roll out again. You flood the end zone, and somebody's open, and Big Nick is open right there, and he gets a 2-point conversion.
There's a touchdown.
We're going to see a touchdown run. You see Montgomery sliding across. He's going to stick his nose up there and make a block. And right there, you see offensive lineman downfield. And tight end, Nick has a good block. And right here, Hildebrand just takes off, and he just leaves the rest of the pack.
And he tackled him about 7 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I was
going to say the same thing.
He really should have.
Yeah, that's a little late right there. I thought we would see a penalty, but they didn't call it.
You just never know.
And that's because we've seen a lot of calls that we felt were questionable, and that's one that looked kind of obvious, and they didn't call it. So who knows what's going to be called?
McCann kicking off for the Golden Hawks. Comes to Freeman, 10, 20-yard line. Has a little opening, 30, 35. Stays on his feet to the 40-yard line. Steve Freeman trying to take it back for the Mustangs. Their business.
And that's the kind of answer you want with your special teams. You give up a big play defensively. Freeman comes back, gets it straight to the middle of the field. You're right here. You'll see he gets into that. The wedge gets going. As they pick up people, he finds the hole, and he's a good runner, and he cuts it upfield, and really was one man away from going the distance.
Jamie Kavanaugh with a tackle on Steve Freeman. At 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 40-yard line. It is Centennial 14, Stockdale 7. Frazier, play action, the throw over the middle, complete to Dillingham. Cuts back 40-yard line to the 45, 30, cuts inside to the 22.
And he was down by contact. And the pass gets the ball up, and Smith right there with the catch. But right on cue, again, Stockdale this time, passing the ball. They went to that play earlier. Looks like Ochoa's coming up a little lane.
Ochoa coming up, limping.
But they made a big pass like that earlier in the game where they hit across the middle of the field, but that one was to Dillingham. This time they go to Smith, and right there, you can tell, and that's what you go into halftime. You find the adjustments, where was the weak spot, and you come out immediately. You don't really have much time in the second half, and you attack it. And that's a good pass play, good catch. And the 2 big plays were off the bat to answer to the Centennial Golden Hawks' big run.
Well, I thought it was more appropriate for Stockdale to throw the ball upfield than the sideline stuff they were doing earlier. High formation behind Frazier. Ochoa hit a Maitland drop.
Taylor Ochoa.
At the 20-yard line. Golden Hawks, Earl, number 64 on the tackle. Henderson, number 99. Edison, Womack, Earl, Fangmeyer, Morales, Seelys, Elizalde, Porter, Wilson, Wright, Vance, and Wickton. Part of that Golden Hawk D. 10-18 to play in the third. 14-7 Centennial. And things are beginning to liven up. Here's the stadium. Let's go. Sheldon Dillingham wide right from the Mustangs. Freeman the running back. Frazier to throw. Sets up. Here comes the rush, and he goes down at the 28-yard line. Henderson, 99.
Frazier brought down by 20.
Breaking through there, and Morales.
Yeah, and right there you like to see just Frazier he hasn't got a wheel route. Just aired over the man's head out of bounds.
Dumping off.
He's going to drop back. He sees the pressure. See how he keeps going. Once he sees the pressure, he needs to pull up and just launch it. Don't take the sack. You have good field position. You're in field goal range, and you take a about a 6-yard sack, and now you put yourself in a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 16. Frazier slips, throws it over the middle too high, almost intercepted, incomplete. But Patrick Frazier having trouble finding footing at the 35-yard line. The pass intended for Todd Shelton, incomplete, a little bit high.
Yeah, and the Golden Hawks dodged the bullet right there, because as you see, he slips right here, throws off his timing, the ball comes a little bit high, but once again, he had a man wide open over the middle of the field.
Wilson almost had a pick for Centennial. Ashurst. They fake the field goal. Frazier rolling to his right. To the 40-yard line and out of bounds. The Golden Hawks will take over. Ashurst will line up for about a 43-yard field goal.
Yeah, right there. You know, luckily for him, Frazier dodged some danger and got the ball close to the 20-yard line. So it would have been like if they punted the ball in the end zone, a touchback. But he did a good job of eluding it and picking up some positive yardage. You know, but now the defense is coming back and they have to suck it up and they can't get any more points up. Right here you see the fake as he comes up.
Well, I had to gain about 15 yards on the run. Of course, they're looking to pass the ball. Garner play action, rolling to his right. Looks downfield, incomplete for Seelage. And Amy fell down, the defender for Stockdale. But Garner overthrew his receiver.
Yeah, and he fell down after the ball, after he already had good coverage and the ball as well, uncatchable. But that's the play that we've seen Seeley's have a big game against East High. But he was covered real well. You know, again, you have a big target like that. Just kind of put a little air on, let him go up and snatch it away. If he doesn't, it's incomplete. You know, it's a luxury we throw to a big guy you don't have with a small receiver. Is you can be a little bit off. You don't have to be as accurate, and you can throw a little bit softer as well.
Okay, 2nd and 10 for the Golden Hawks. The ball given to Hildebrand to the outside. 25-30. That's a face mask, I believe, against Stockdale. As they threw him down by the front bar.
Yeah, and I think almost every official threw a flag on that one, so that one might be one of the big face mask ones.
Darren coming off a 70-yard run for a touchdown. Penalty against the Mustangs. And they really have to hang tough here in the 3rd quarter, down 14-7.
Hildebrand bounces outside. You don't see any Stockdale Mustangs coming to the picture until your corner man comes up. And if that's the case, that's bad news for your defense. And right there you see him go up the right hand and grab it.
Amy.
And Amy does that's a good face mask right there. He might have to go see a chiropractor tomorrow after that.
Wow. Okay, 1st and 10 for Centennial. Hildebrand hit the back foot and dropped at the 40-yard line. The Golden Hawks up by 7 points. 8:33 to play in the 3rd. Of course, they like to run the football. Show some back clock.
They do it, and you know, once you get ahead of a team, and that's when you can control that ball like that, you just limit the opportunities to come back on you. But I can tell you this, they like to have another touchdown on that board before they start trying to just grind the game out.
Definitely a Centennial's game. Payne wide left for the Golden Hawks. Montgomery in motion. Garner looking to his left to throw. Sets up, fires it. Complete to Seelage. 1st down for the Golden Hawks. Travis Garner throwing the ball very well tonight. Better than I thought he could.
Well,
very sharp.
The one thing, you know, when we're talking about his 40% rating, you know, he played some tough defensive ball clubs, Clovers West, the Bakersfield High Drillers. And right here, he gets out, he sets up, he fires a strike. He has a big target, too. And the thing I like about it is, like I said, they open up their offensive attack Centennial has tonight. This is more of a balance attack than we've seen them have, I think, in our games that we've done on TV when they've been ahead or they've been in the game.
Well, they got Nick Seelage lining up at one tight end slot and Justin on the other one. 2 big targets, as you said. As the ball comes to Hildebrand, midfield 50. Puts his head down to the 40-yard line and close to another 1st down for the Golden Hawks. As they continue to pound away at the Mustang defense.
You know, right now he's getting 5 yards downfield and there's nobody even touching him, but you see Seelage right there do a good job of turning the safety in right there. Montgomery hits his man, and then, your back has to make at least one guy miss. That's it. I mean, if the back can't make one guy miss, then he's not doing his job.
Earl, Bigley, Dobbs, Matting, Tittlemeyer up front for the Golden Hawks. Second and short for Centennial at the Mustang 39. Montgomery in motion. Williams back in there, has a first down for the Golden Hawks. Off the right side.
First down for Centennial.
Kelly Williams.
And I
alternating with Darren Hildebrand.
Yeah, and that fourth and real short, that might have been a golden opportunity to do a quick pass to Nick Seeley's down there. You pump that play action in there, draw the linebackers up, and let him kind of slip back like we seen him do against East High and get a wide open touchdown.
They just want to use up more of that clock.
Like I said, you try to use up a clock for a quarter and a half, and you only got a 14-7 lead, and something goes wrong.
They probably could do it.
You could be 14-14 real quick.
Williams in motion for the Golden Hawks. Garner rolling to his left. Looking downfield, fires it. Incomplete behind Williams. Could have had it at the Mustang 27-yard line.
That's a tough throw for Garner going to his left like that, but again, he had a guy open and get rid of the ball a little bit earlier. As soon as he's at that break, you don't have to wait so long for him. As soon as you see him open, get rid of it.
Well, Centennial's been throwing the ball quite often in this ball game, but short, safe routes.
Well, I think, too, except for the big run, the Stockdale defense has done very well against the run, and they have the ability to shut down a run. So I think when you have a team like that, you have to have some kind of threat in the air to at least keep a team honest or to give yourself room to run.
Ball going to Williams to the outside. Hit and drilling down at about the 41-yard line. Excellent penetration by Mustang V.
And on this series, that's the first time we've seen penetration on an outside run like that.
Williams stopped by Drendraw.
Dan Pruitt over there for the Mustangs. 6-10 to play in the third. 14-7 in favor of Centennial. 3rd and 12 for the Golden Hawks. 3 receivers wide right. Garner rolling to his right. No pressure on him. He might as well run it. 35-30. Gets the block downfield. Dives forward. They'll be shy of the first down, but very close to it.
Right there, he made a real good decision and not throw the ball into heavy traffic. You don't want to turn over at this point in time. Right here, you're going to see him rolling. He's looking for somebody to pass to. It goes to his right. Doesn't have anybody. And right here, he's going to decide right now, I'm going for it. Tucks the ball in, does a good job. See a little air right there, but tucks it up anyway. Nobody really around. Stops. Tries to pick up a first down and comes close. Yeah, they did give it to him, so that was a good play by the quarterback right there.
Well, Travis Garner's played very well for the Golden Hawks tonight. 1st and 10 at the Mustang 27-yard line. Golden Hawks up by 7. Williams, big opening. Up the middle, 15. Break to the outside, to the 10-yard line. Puts his head down inside the 10 to about the 8. Boy, they are blowing the Mustangs off the ball. And Williams taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and right here you're going to see, watch the linemen just how they fire off. The linemen are downfield. You have linemen downfield 5-6 yards. And right here, Williams just does what he does best, and that's just run the ball with his natural instincts. He does the cutback. And then right here, just decides I'm going to pick it up. That's as much as I can do. Let me put my head down, pick up a couple extra yards.
Mike Earl was going out for a pass, number 64. 1st and goal for Centennial. Alexander in motion. Williams left side, big opening, puts his head down, first down, touchdown, Centennial!
Williams in for a Golden Hawk touchdown.
Boy, Centennial beginning to take the spirit and the heart out of the Mustangs.
But not only that, what I like about that drive is Coach Snead opened his playbook up, and it was a nice balanced attack. Threw in some nice intermediate routes, nothing real deep down the field, but 10, 12-yard routes. Guys, quarterback out in mobility where he had some space and some time, not under pressure. And then they used his line, and the line did a good job in that series of protecting and also run blocking, firing off downfield.
That appears to have been good by number 3, Josh Payne.
They're saying
the
no
Golden
good.
Hawks, no good. Number 3 looked good, but must have missed a wide left. But Centennial has come out roaring here in the second half.
And you allude to it in the halftime intermission that this team is a second-half team.
That was our.
And you know that's going to happen, so you have to be prepared for it. And right now, they're just blowing the Mustangs off the ball. Again, you see guys downfield. There's Justy Solis down there. He's like a lineman being tight end. He's on the goal line. So, I mean, that's bad news when you look at film as a coach and you see linemen and tight ends downfield blocking your team 6-7 yards down the field.
Well, a long run by Hildebrand really took the heart out of the Mustangs team, and Centennial taking advantage of it. 20-7 in favor of the Golden Hawks with 4:47 to play here in the third quarter. Now the Mustangs have to get back on track in a hurry.
Well, the one thing the Mustangs do have on time, they have time. If they can get a nice drive here. They had a nice drive going until that one got botched up, but they get a nice drive, put 7 on the board. They're right back in the game. They're down 6 points, and they have a defense to make a stop and get the ball back to them again.
Jake McKay kicking off for Centennial.
Freeman takes it to the 15-yard line, 20-25. Breaks a couple of tackles to the 29-yard line. Steve Freeman, as Stockdale comes out and sets up their offense. Down by 13 points to the Golden Hawks. So they have low scoring first half, 7-6 in favor of Stockdale. And now Centennial becoming an offensive machine here in the second half.
Yeah, they do. Like you said earlier, they just grind you out, and that's what they do, and that's what they've done in the first 2 series.
Hey, Patrick Frazier, play action for Stockdale. From the 20-yard line over the middle, it is intercepted by Wilson.
Right there, Wilson makes a play on an overthrown ball. As a safety, he's playing deep, makes a nice catch. And like you said, right now, that's not the play you wanted to see, but again, Frazier has a man open. This man is open.
He missed Smith, Justin Smith, number 6.
This ball comes up, you see a little high, but you see the man, he's open. And that's twice that, there's been a misconnection. You just have to, those are plays that the Mustangs have had to make tonight. They couldn't afford to not make them. And on this second half, it's cost them.
Well, they've been putting more pressure on Frazier. He's on the ball a little bit too quickly. Chapman in motion for Centennial. There's Hildebrand to the outside. They miss him. Gains about 4 yards. Maybe he should have been caught in the backfield. Picks up 5 yards in that run. Rocky Rodriguez with the tackle. But the Golden Hawks in position again.
Yeah, right now, you have a tired defense. And with this style of play, 13 points. Just pound them and continue to pound them now. And let the clock be your friend. Because you have them tired and your linesmen firing off. I would see them continue to attack them.
Travis Garner and company up to the ball at their own 48-yard line. Montgomery in motion. There's Hildebrand. Look at the opening, 45, pointing to the outside, and to about the 34-yard line.
It's probably going to come back. There's a flag thrown by the line, and usually that indicates some interior problems. And there it is, holding.
Holding penalty against Centennial.
I just do not see the Stockton Mustangs defense even near the ball carrier on most of the runs.
No, not this half. And I think, you see how deep they are. The safety was 12 yards deep. When you have a team that's going to pound you like this and run the ball, you usually see teams bring the 8-9 man front, and I would put it, like you said earlier, challenge them to pass the ball and beat me in the air. Because if you're asking to beat you on the ground and you had your safety out of the play and you only take 7 men, they will beat you that way.
They have really lost their aggressiveness on defense. We talked about earlier, they're not hitting the running back until they're 5-7 yards downfield.
Yeah, and that means your safeties in the defensive backfield make a lot of tackles. If that's the case, that's bad news for your defense.
Alexander in motion for Centennial. Pitch back. Hildebrand. Look for a block from Montgomery. Doesn't receive it. Does it himself. 40-yard line. And dribbling out of bounds.
And this is what you see in fatigue. When you see a team fatigue, you start to see tackles they made in the first half are starting to be missed now. You're tired. Your head kind of goes down a little bit. Man makes a quick stop on you. You kind of run by, and you pursue. As you can see, you have guys bent over for the Stockdale defense trying to catch their breath.
It'll be 3rd and 12 for Centennial. Brian Easton on the tackle for Stockdale. 2:45 to play in the third. 20-7 in favor of Centennial. Two backs behind Garner. Williams in motion. Travis rolling to his left. Short toss to Seelig. Has it. Gain of about 7 yards. It'll be fourth down for the Golden Hawks. And punting time for Centennial. But you never know.
Punting time, but you see what a penalty does to you. Instead of a first down, you had a long
4th and 4.
distances to go for your first, and you end up punting the ball. You know, in that situation right there, you got rid of quick, but you got to throw the ball beyond the marker on that play to your other receiver.
Stockdale trying to block the punt to no avail. Goes out of bounds though. But the Mustangs should have very good field position across their 30-yard line. 2 minutes to play here in the third.
Yeah, and the Mustangs dodged the bullet on that series with that holding play. They got the ball back, still down 13. And again, there are some openings against that defense and secondary. And again, that's you have to do it because you're not going to be able to just run the ball down and throw to the Centennial defense.
Race there is flanked to both sides. The pass incomplete. A little bit behind Smith, who was cutting inside, but miscommunication between Frazier and Smith.
You know, even though it's a little bit behind, that's a catchable ball. That's one that, you know, your receiver, you want him to go ahead and grab and make the play. You have to help your quarterback out. You know, there's no great quarterback that didn't have receivers that helped him out as well.
That's right. Second down and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 31-yard line. Same formation. Frazier looking right. The pass complete to Shelton. A very short gain across the 35-yard line.
Stopped by Billy Bright.
Right.
And Darrell Wilson.
And Wilson will stop for the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, right there, Wilson does a good job. He flattens out and catches the slant in here, stops him being a big play. And the corner comes down, they converge. You know, and that play right there, the Centennial defense did not have a safety back. You know, that's one time you might want to make an adjustment and go a little bit behind them as opposed to in front of them like that.
Bellingham, Shelton wide left for Stockdale. At 3rd and 5, Frazier looking for Shelton, incomplete. Would have been a tough reception at the 45-yard line.
You know, on that series, once again, they had some openings, had some spots. You have a drop ball, a couple overthrown balls in the last few series, and you know, it results in you punting the ball. But, I mean, you had the opportunities. You called the right plays. This was not executed, but you got what you wanted. You know, it just weren't able to pick it up.
Well, Stockdale's defense is definitely going to be fatigued here in the fourth quarter. They've been on the field the entire third. The offense has not moved the ball. Wrangle punts for Stockdale. Taken by Chapman, I believe. His own man ran into him.
Yeah, he did a great job of concentrating right there and securing the catch.
And for the Golden Hawks, 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. 1 minute to play here in the third. Centennial 20, Stockdale 7. It has been all Golden Hawks in the second half.
If you're a Golden Hawk fan, that's what you're used to seeing. It's a strong second half, and that's what they've done tonight. So far in the third quarter, they played a good second half. Had 3 series in the second half and 2 touchdowns, so you know, 66% touchdown rate on your drives. That's not bad.
Well, Garner's had a very good game for Centennial. Hillebrand gets his way to about the 40-yard line. A gain of about 3 or 4.
Hillebrand, the ball carrier.
Well, Mustangs have to find a way to stop Centennial. They didn't come up with a turnover.
Well, you know, the offense to get together right now, they have to find a way to just make some plays. They have to will themselves to make some plays because they have some opportunities, like I said, in this second half. They just have not taken advantage of them. We've seen some balls dropped, a couple people open, overthrown. So, you know, like I said, it's not like they weren't there and the calls weren't on the money. They just didn't execute.
Well, they have lost their desire a little bit in this ball game. They need to get it back. They need a pick. Return for a score. Hillebrand's left side. Hit hard, driven down. Gain of about a yard. It'll be 3rd and 6 as the third quarter coming to a conclusion.
And I agree with you. They need some, they need some kind of big play to get their momentum back and their excitement back in this game.
Third down, 3rd and 5 for Centennial. After 3, the Golden Hawks 20, Stockdale 7. All the prep football game of the week on CNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 31. We are Digital 106.
Get ready.
For the best deals in town.
Get set.
For the deal of a lifetime.
Go.
To Golden State Motors. You haven't seen the finish line until you drive away with the deal of the century from Golden State Motors. The #1 used car dealer with over 100 pre-owned vehicles, the largest selection in Kern County. Domestic and foreign cars, SUVs, and trucks with new arrivals daily. So race on down to Golden State Motors, where we're sure you'll finish first.
The all-new X96.5 blazing today's hottest music. Now with Jamie and Danny in the morning.
Good morning, Bakersfield.
We're Bakersfield's new morning show. Today's hottest music is on the all-new X96.5.
X96.5.
Fourth quarter action from Centennial High School. The Golden Hawks 20, Stockdale 7. And for Centennial, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 from the 41. Garner rolling to his right. The pass is complete. Far side, first down and more. At the Mustang territory, the 45-yard line to Josh Payne. Now the Golden Hawks continue.
They continue, and again, Garner didn't hesitate. As soon as he saw the guy open, he got rid of the ball. That's what the quarterback has to do in that play. The longer he waits, the more time he has for people to get over it. You see, he only took a few steps before he got rid of it. Good execution, first down, and you can go back now to doing what you do best, and you can run the ball a couple more times.
The power running game coupled with the short passing game. Garner has been right on target. A tough defense. Good special teams.
You know, once you establish the run like they have in the second half, it makes those rollout plays a lot easier because they're leery of the running game, and it gives you some air to pass the ball against.
A little bit of motion. Welcome to Montgomery. And the game's about a yard off the left side. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Golden Hawks. At Mustang territory at the 44-yard line. Hudson, Freeman, Hopper, Ochoa, Decker, Dransoff, Gooden, Pruitt, Rodriguez, Amy Easter, and sometimes Aaron Ochoa on D for Stockdale. A very tired defense.
And they're going to need right now, they need something to happen. They need to get a turnover. They need to get a stop on this set of downs right here.
2nd and 9 for the Golden Hawks. Big opening for Hillebrand. Has a first down more. To about the 32-yard line. Offensive line just blowing away the Mustangs.
And once again, now you open your gate up again to pound the ball some more on a tired defense.
Earl, Bigley, Dove, Madden, Tillman up front.
As you can see right now, Hildebrand's not touched at least 6-7 yards downfield. And if he's doing like that, it's going to be first downs all day long. Well, all night long, the rest of this quarter anyway.
The Golden Hawks with the ball at the Mustang 33. 10:25 to play. Pitch back to Williams, looking for the block. And he has a 25, touchback. He may go to the 10, 5, race to the end zone, touchdown, Golden Hawks. And 3 Mustangs were on the field. Great blocking downfield.
It's great blocking, but he does what the good backs have. That's just natural instincts. You can't coach that. The player has to have that innate.
He does have great instincts.
And he just, you know, is like, they don't even see somehow they have a feel with other players. When they make that cutback, they cut right by people, cutting back touchdown. And you, like I said, he's the runner I think makes a difference in terms of loosening up the defense for this team because he's so versatile. He can run power ball, but he also has the ability, as you've seen right there, to create in the open field.
Now the PAT is good by Payne. It was blocked partially, but good. 27-7 Golden Hawks. They have scored 3 times here in the second half.
And right here is just a toss out, sweep to the left. He does a good job. He gets right here, hides behind his blocker, cuts behind him, throws him out there, get him. And right now he just runs the ball, makes another cut back. And right, he's off to the races, and he has good speed for a guy his size, where he's able to outrun people and make the plays. He's a playmaker. I mean, he's just another young man that we've seen this year that just makes plays.
Couple of scores for him tonight. Kelly Williams. As Centennial was down 7-6 at the half, they now lead 27-7 over Stockdale. 10-15 to play in a ball game.
Yeah, this is also, if you're a defensive coordinator, you like it, because now you just pin your ears back and you tell your defensive line to go for it. Let's get some sacks. And they're going to come out trying to throw the ball to get back in the game because they haven't had much success running the ball except for a few plays. And if you're a secondary player, you have to light up now and say, this is my chance to get some interceptions or to make some plays, because that ball's going to be coming up in the air and I have to step up.
Jake McKay kicking off for Centennial.
Stockdale to pick it up. At the 25-yard line, Justin Smith hit hard down at 27.
Justin Smith on the return.
Williams with 3 scores tonight for Centennial. Once in the first half, 2 here in the second half. And of course, Hildebrand
had the big run.
Well, this game has really turned around in the second half, though. Final 2 quarters.
And Stockdale really has just stopped themselves offensively with this poor execution in their passing game. They've had the people open. Either they had drop balls or overthrown passes.
Frazier throws it complete to Smith. Very short gain.
That's complete to
and driven down.
Smith brought down by Cody Vance.
At the 30-yard line. Cody Vance with a tackle for Centennial. 9:50 to play in a ball game. The Mustangs down by 20 points. 27-7. Freeman goes out. Smith, Dillingham wide right for the Mustangs. Frazier QB. Rolling to his right. Unloads it. Nice catch by Smith. First down for Stockdale, throwing 38.
And you can see they still have people open in the passing game. They have to settle down and just make the completions. You see right here, takes this roll out to the right, going to pull up right here, Frazier. Knows there's a man going out and just throws the ball. And right there, I mean, you see that time of space. There's like 5 good yards of space up there. And when you see that, that's completion time. And the receiving quarterback has to get on time and complete it. And again, there's somebody open in the middle.
Dillingham Shelton wide left. The pass to Shelton. I guess that's completion. It will be a first down for the Mustangs. Todd Shelton going down low for the reception.
Pass completion, Todd Shelton.
At midfield.
Mustang first down.
Right here, we're going to see Frazier step back. Fires a nice ball behind the defensive player right there to Shelton. And pick up another first down. I mean,
excellent hands. Todd Dillingham. Wide right from the Mustangs. 8:55 to play in a ball game. Freeman
ball carrier.
Cannot get open tonight. Gain of about 2 or 3.
And Freeman and his offensive line for Stockdale Mustangs should not feel bad, because this defense did a good job against Stansel, who was a tough back for the Drillers that we've seen in the game we did against the Centennial BHS game.
2nd and 8 for the Stockdale Mustangs. Frazier getting the plays. Rosenlead, Watts, Appley, Bratton, Rodriguez up front for Stockdale. Shelton in motion, play action. Frazier to throw, incomplete to Ochoa. Is it picked off? Number 21 for Centennial. No INT for
that's Kobe Vance.
Then call it.
But again, the man's open.
Yep.
Right here, he's open. And the ball's off his hand, it looks like, or goes to Kobe Vance, who hard to see right there if he caught it or not. But again, you can't ask for more of the team or a coach for people to be open.
That's right.
If they're open, you got to find some way to make completions.
Throws here is wide to the right. Frazier rolling to his right. He'll be pulled down from behind by Henderson. No flag.
Frazier brought down by Nate Henderson.
And like I said, when you're up like this, that's what you want your defensive line to go do. You know they're passing.
Go after
you
the
almost
quarterback.
abandon the run, worrying about running. You just go for it, and you get the sack. And you'll see right here, they're just coming right there. 2 people have to pick up 1 man, and then you'll see Henderson just follow the play, puts the pressure, and pulls them down.
That was Womack 53 for the Golden Hawks, who was in there very quickly. 7:45 to play. Wrangle the punt for Stockdale. Chapin on a return across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. The Golden Hawks have the ball once again and up by 20 points.
And again, if you
This
Golden
is
Hawks,
their time.
they're going to go do what they do again. Hildebrandt's back in the game and just pound it. They're going to pound this ball. We have a quarterback change coming in.
Travin Freeland, the QB for the Golden Hawks now. As Garner had a superlative game for the Golden Hawks.
2 men on the field. For the Golden
against
Hawks.
Centennial, yes. The new wide receiver, number 85, Ryan Polak, for the Golden Hawks. This game definitely turned in the second half in favor of Centennial.
You know, again, if you look at the film, when you look at the film on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day the coaches watch the film, you had your opportunities to be in this ball game to give yourself an opportunity to win it. You had them offensively. You just did not execute tonight.
You have to execute for 4 quarters. Hildebrand, the ball carrier, across the 25 for the Golden Hawks.
You know, if you're at home and you're sitting there saying, well, you know, the defense gave 27 points, you have to understand, too, in the second half, they've been on this field for a long time against
down here, Brian. Gain of about 5 yards up to about the 40-yard line. And the Golden Hawks chewing up that clock, eating it up.
And, you know, like I said, you can't blame the defense. They've been on the field against a team that you really can't afford. You can't stand up against Centennial if your defense is on the field for most of the second half, because they will just continue to pound you, and the big plays will pop open for them on their running game, as we've seen in the East High game, and now we're seeing here tonight.
Mark Gonzalez in the ball game for the Golden Hawks, number 6. They have some new people in there. New people on the offensive line. Matt Metler, 57. 3rd down. Fumble in the backfield. And it is 4th down for Centennial.
You know, and it's kind of funny, it's the 3rd fumble, but they always seem to get the ball.
But Kevin Snead calling out the Dogs. Calling out the Hawks.
Well, you know, he knows what kind of defense he has, and with 5 minutes left, he knows that he can just pound that ball and run it and take that clock out. Now, with a 20-point lead in 5 minutes, that's totally different than a 13 or a 7-point lead with 6 minutes in the 3rd quarter, because then anything can happen and change the whole game around.
Stockdale trying to block the punt to no avail for the 2nd time tonight. Freeman steps a couple of tackles, 45-40, 45, tripped up from behind, and it goes down at the 49.
That's Henderson. He made a big sack, and then he makes a big play on special teams to really save possibly a touchdown. There really wasn't much to stop
Steve Freeman.
Freeman out there.
Wow. Steve and I had a chance to break that long ones tonight for Stockdale. Probably 20 to play the ball game. 27-7 in favor of the Golden Hawks. Smith wide left. Slot left Dillingham. Frazier instilling our quarterback. Draw play to Freeman. Well, hit hard after a gain of about 3 yards.
And we're seeing the reserves on defense as well. And that's what you see, your reserves come in, and they're fired up, and they're going to continue your philosophy of tough defense, and they're hitting a short gain again on the running game. So the Golden Hawks defense really is really, to me, is what their linchpin is their defense, and their weakness is the secondary, but you have to be able to execute or attack it when you have the opportunities.
Second and 7 for the Mustangs. And Golden Hawk territory play action for Frazier. The pass to Wangle. But a gain of about 3 yards to the 44-yard line. Tie the first down, 3rd and 3 for Stockdale.
I think it's the first time we called his name tonight.
Yeah, except for punting.
Yeah, and you know, he's been a big receiver for him with 19 receptions over the season. So.
With 3 on the play.
What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, it was not much.
3rd and 3.
But really, it was like I said, it was a game where they had their opportunities and they just didn't take advantage of them. When they had some people open to make some big plays.
Well, when you're playing the Golden Hawks at this stage of the season on their home field, you have to execute, and probably a penalty against Stockdale. The tight end moved too early. Foyle still to play in a ball game. 27-7 in favor of Centennial. That has been all Golden Hawks the final 2 quarters after a very tough and tight first half.
Yeah, you know, the Golden Hawk offense did their job in the second half, and you called it. You said they're going to come out in the second half. They're a second half team, and they just dominated. The offensive line in the second half just dominated.
Frazier rolling to his right, looking for Shelton, and the pass is complete. Nice route by Todd. Excellent throw by Patrick Frazier. Those guys were very well together.
You know, they do, like I said, they just had there's a few opportunities that you have in every game. Right there, good catch, good concentration. Close to not being a catch, kind of juggled it, but they called it a reception. But you know, they like I said, there's gonna be in the game, especially when you're passing the ball, where you just gotta make some plays. You had opportunities, and they just didn't. And, you know, and you can't be mad at that you had opportunities. You know, you can be mad you didn't make them, but you can't be mad at it because the opportunities were definitely there against this defense tonight in the secondary.
Number 19 for the Mustangs to the outside. That would be Ryan Kidd. Ryan Kidd. Gain of 4 yards. 3:13 on the clock. The Mustangs hoping to take it to the house.
Well, you know, you want to try to end on a positive note, but getting 7 points right now with 3 minutes left isn't going to help you much.
Onside kick after that. Frazier fires it. Incomplete, right in the hands of Shelton. He heard the footsteps.
And that pretty much sums up their passing experience in the second half. They just haven't been able to connect and execute. It's a good pass on the slant. Just have to catch it. Good tackle, though. A breakup on that play. That's how you drive through it, man, when you tackle him.
You thought Porter was going to whack him. Well, the Mustangs have really lost their confidence here in the second half. Smith in motion. Frazier looking to his right, steps up. Here comes the pressure, fires it. Complete. Shelton to the 20-yard line. Nice tackle by
Kobe Vance.
Kobe Vance, number 21.
Yeah, but right there you also saw now was a great throw across the body. You see he's rolling to his right.
A tough throw.
He stops, pops up, throws it on the roll to his right, back across the field, and on the money. That's a great throw. And then Kobe Vance makes a tackle.
First and 10 for Stockdale. On a pattern, Frazier towards the end zone for Wangle. He's got it. Is he in bounds?
They say no.
Wow. Incomplete. Came down out of bounds. Almost had a great catch for TV.
And that was good coverage. You see, the first team secondary players are still in the game.
Right.
For the Golden Hawks. And, you see the ball coming down the air, and Kobe Vance right there. Good coverage, good catch, just was out of bounds.
Vance, Wilson, Porter back there for the Golden Hawks. Second and 10 for the Mustangs. 2:14 to play in a ball game.
Becky Porter, please report to the cheerleaders.
Smith, slot right. Frazier rolling to his right. Steps up. Flag is down, passing complete.
Pass intended
for Shelton as a 10-yard line.
Incomplete.
And most likely against Stockdale.
There it is. Good call.
A hold. Yeah.
And you see that flag come down that area of the field, and, you know, mostly it usually is a holding. Every once in a while it could be a late hit on the quarterback or you know, unnecessary roughness, but mostly
They would
it's
hope
holding.
that. But when you're down by 20, it doesn't make you feel any better. So a very quiet Stockdale crowd in the second half. They were ahead by 1 after 2 quarters, 7-6. The Golden Hawks have simply dominated the third and fourth quarters. Dominated with a capital D. Second down, Frazier to throw. Frazier sets up to Shelton. He's got it at the 5-yard line, hit hard immediately. First and goal for Stockdale. Wilson Vance back there deep for the Golden Hawks.
I mean, and you can see that they have the potential to have a nice passing game, and they just tonight, for whatever reason, when they needed it early in the third quarter, they weren't making a connection. But right here, there's a good job right here. Frazier standing back, pops on the fifth step, throws it over the middle, and that ball's right there. Is in traffic, but again, that's where you make plays against the Golden Hawks, is in that secondary.
Throwing to his main target, Todd Shelton. And they're calling it first and goal from the 3 for Stockdale. 1:59 to play in a ball game. A lot of people exiting Golden Hawk Stadium. Frazier, Smith in motion. Rolling to his right, looking for Shelton. And a pass knocked away incomplete at the goal line.
That's intended for Todd Shelton.
That's good coverage right there.
Billy Bright.
By Bright. See, that's the kind of coverage I like to see them have in the middle of the field, but of course they have less field right here to work with. But right now, you're going to roll out again to the right. On the goal line, you don't have that much room. That ball has to be out a little bit faster, so it's thrown before he gets out of his break, and he just turns and makes the catch.
Shelton, Stockdale's only touchdown tonight. Frazier to throw, fires it to Shelton, right in his hands, incomplete. Should have had the score.
You know, and again, that's what we've seen a lot of in the second half is drop balls or overthrown balls. And to me, that was the true difference in the second half of the game. Not so much Centennial's overpowering, but the mishaps by the passing game of Stockdale when they've had the opportunities. It would be a totally different game if they'd have caught the ball or had the completions.
Yeah, the concentration has went up and down, mostly down in the second half. Frazier rolling to his right on third down. Throws a little bit high. Rangel has it into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Pass complete to Brian Rangel. Good for a Mustang touchdown.
Brian Rangel with a nice reception. And you know the onside kick after probably going for 2 right here.
Yeah. Well, there's something for a PAT.
Single point.
Yeah, because I mean they're not going to go for 2 stage yet because they still have to score 2 more times when they can get to that to go for 2. It's on their third touchdown would be the time to go for 2, to go for the win. They might, if they could do it.
Yeah.
Go with high, but you know pretty much time just kind of closed out on them.
Ashurst. A hole by Frazier. It's up and it's good. But sure won 27-14.
Crazy things have happened in the game of football, so you never know until it's over.
Not over till it's over.
You know, but next they need to execute on this onside kick the ball. We see him roll out right here. It's Frazier. Gets rid of the ball. Big target. And this time he throws it up high and soft, so we can see on that, but he let the big fella go up and get it and use his size, and that's just a good pass play again.
You know, Patrick Frazier could have had about 8 more completions tonight. He's had some overthrows due to duress, but he's throwing the ball very well.
And he has, and you know, and one overthrow we saw was when he slipped. You know, and
right.
That's just part of the game. Some bad things, you know, ball just didn't bounce away on some fumbles. So you know, I mean, this game, while the score, you know, looks out of hand, it really was a much closer play game than the score indicates.
Well, I felt the Mustangs had to run the ball effectively against Centennial. They never could get it down on the ground tonight. They couldn't get Freeman open. Well, that made it very tough on them. Even though Centennial's more porous against the pass, I think you have to utilize more balance.
That's good in theory, but in reality, that's not going to happen against the Centennial defense. You know that's where the weakness is. Any good offense attacks the weakness of a defense, and you exploit so they stop you. And they stopped themselves. Centennial's defensive backfield never stopped the Stockdale offense. It was overthrow for interception. We're not talking about plays on interception. It was an overthrow and drop balls and miscommunication that stopped them. It was themselves. It was not anything that the Centennial secondary defense did against the passing game.
Okay, the onside kick recovered by the Golden Hawks. They'll have it at their own 49-yard line with 1:30 to play in a ball game. Jesse Seelig with a recovery for Centennial. Well, the Golden Hawks with 3 touchdowns here in the second half and Stockdale with 1. But Centennial had 3 consecutive scores and will only come alive in the third quarter.
Yeah, they scored 3 out of the first 4 possessions, and that's phenomenal in football.
There's Keller Williams, bounce to the outside. Look at the speed, Brian. 45 dragged down. Gain of about 6.
What I like too he did, we've seen some backs do round of bounds. He cuts it upfield and he makes sure that he stops inbounds and lets that clock run off.
5'10", 109, only a junior. Well, he's going to be tough next year.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
And he was a big loss from the Garces football program. You know, can you imagine him in the Garces program? This kid is a good runner.
Well, he has deceptive speed.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a blazer like a Stansel, but he's fast enough and quick enough to make you miss and to leave you.
Second down for Centennial. They will still on it. Travis Garner back in the ball game as the clock is running down at 35 seconds. And the Golden Hawks will now be 5-4 this year. And Stockdale falls also 5-4. More importantly for Centennial, they are 3-0 in the Southwestern Assembly League. And Stockdale falls to 2-1. 19 consecutive victories for Centennial in the Southwestern Assembly League.
You know, and you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Sneed, the staff, and the players for making that happen. That's 19 league wins, and that's good in any league.
That's going back to Jan Scooby days here at Centennial. So another victory for the Golden Hawks as they defeat Stockdale 27-14 from Golden Hawks Stadium. Big victory. Pounding, grounding in the offense in the second half. Some timely passing by Travis Garner. And like I said, put some pressure on Patrick Frazier. They stopped the Stockdale running game. Stockdale has some receivers open, but they simply did not have a concentration in the second half.
You know, and that's what it boiled down to. Centennial did their thing, did their job. You know, they know that the weakness is secondary, and Stockdale didn't take advantage of it when they had opportunities, and that pretty much cost them the ball game in that second half.
Well, next week, Brian, we have a very excellent rivalry, a long-time rivalry, Shafter and Wasco. These schools have been playing this game, I think, for 80-some, 90 years or so.
And we went last year and saw
great.
And they have a heck of a battle, and it'll be a very interesting game, and we'll be glad to be out there next Thursday.
Shafter is one of the top runners in the area. Shafter Wasco, that's what Shafter with a chance to win the South Dakota League title. Final score again tonight, Centennial 27, Stockdale 14 for Brian Adams. I'm Mark Heffernan. Good night. You've been watching the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 41, Digital Cable 106.
It's pretty simple, really. You want to advertise your business on TV? Call Time Warner Cable. We'll put you on some of the most popular shows on your favorite cable networks.
We could put your business on ESPN. It's the ultimate sports network.
We'll get you seen and heard on CNN, the stage for some of the most interesting people around.
Use Telemundo and Galavision to reach out to the fastest growing segment of our community.
When you call Time Warner Cable, we'll map out a strategy, custom built for your business. We'll produce a commercial for you, and then deliver your message on some of the most popular shows on TV. Think of Time Warner as your own personal advertising department. We make it easy to advertise on the cable networks, and we do it affordably. Call Time Warner now, and we'll send you free information on how simple it is to get your business on the cable networks. Time Warner Cable. It's the best way to get on television.
wasn't a blatant pass
Wasn't a lot
interference.
flagrant.
No, but it was good enough to get the call.
They had to go around with DB to try to make that reception, but nevertheless, BHS inside the 10-yard line. Well, a first down, 32 seconds left in the first half, up by 14, looking for more. Be interesting to see what they go for eventually. They go for the field goal or the touchdown. But they have so many weapons that it's very difficult for the Goldhawks to cover them, as it has been for everybody who's played BHS this year. Who do you double on their team?
Well, you can't double, and that's the luxury that Coach Hudson has on his offense. It's going to take a well-balanced team like Buchanan to give them a real opposition locally where they can take some things away. Buchanan